Hey, been a while, hasn't it? Alright, so me and my friend, Rabbit Whitwer, or the Gaming Orca, you might know him. The other day he was going on a small rant about premiums and what his stances are on them. So I decided to steal that idea, but not with tanks because I'm no tank expert. I'm more of a plane guy. So yeah, I'm stealing that. Welcome to a teenage biased Australian opinion on American tank planes. This will be. Alright, so after my um thing rudely interrupted and stopped recording and then didn't record my first clip I had for this, let's try this again. Right, so this is the Gala's F3F. I'm hoping I'm saying that right. It is a, I think 1.0, 1.7 BR biplane. Has a cool story behind it, I think. I'm not too sure about the pilot, to be quite honest. But it's a fairly nimble plane, gets 2 bombs, so it can do okay in ground battles if you like playing at its BR, I guess. 150 cal and 17.7, both Browning guns. I say Browning, don't come at me, they are both Brownings, we all know this. Anyway, ignore the cat in the background. And besides that, this is, I think it's 250 GE, I could be wrong there. I will correct myself a lot in this because I probably won't look at the GE a lot. But yeah, that is the Gala F3F. I recommend getting it. Alright, so moving on to Thatcher's F2A Buffalo. Now the Buffalo, in my opinion, is not a great aircraft. I will say there's probably better aircraft at its BR. I'll give it to though, it is a lot better than the F4F. Sorry Wildcat enjoyers, but that's just the way it is. Once again, just a special pilot. If I'm not mistaken, it's 250 cal? Wait. Okay, 150 cal and then, yeah, 3 7 mils. Wait, no, wait, I take that back. It's 1 7 mil, 350 cal. I should probably get this right. The GE is, I'm just going to insert the GE here. I'll probably forget to, but yeah, it's there. It's an okay plane. It turns fairly well, has a story behind it. I'd say if you feel like it, or if you just want to be a reenactment of the finish, because the finish I would recommend picking this up. So yeah. Alright, so this is the B-10B. This is like way, well not, I wouldn't say way before World War II, but it's fairly before World War II. I like this, I actually don't own this bomber, surprisingly. I'm also surprised I don't own it yet. It's a fairly cool bomber. I'd say it's a bit unique. The only other one that I could see that kind of looks like it would be the TB3. It's okay, has an okay payload, okay maneuverability. I like the story, the story behind this being that this at one stage was faster than most American fighters when it was first released, which what kicks the Americans into actually doing something with their fighter, or fighters I should say. 6 bombs, I think you can get more of them, but if you don't feel like shelling up the few couple bucks for this plane, there is one that you can grab in China for free. So I think it's the. Alright, so moving on to some Japanese planes, we have the Kai 41. I should probably check that before I enter the thing. My bad. I'll correct myself using the text. Anyway, Japanese plane, so obviously it's gonna turn ridiculously well. Has good energy, good guns, gets air target round to what is essentially a 50 cal. Not what is essentially, it is a 50 cal, 12.7. Gets 2 in the nose, which I think is actually pretty good. I think it's fairly cheap, 700 GE, and like I said, it's a Japanese plane, so maneuverability is pretty strong. Not shown there though. So yeah, I'd say get this one if you can. Alright, now moving on to the actual Kai 61, my bad, the last one was the Kai 43. Now, I honestly don't know, or don't have an opinion on this thing. It's just another Japanese premium similar to the last one. I don't have this one, so I can't exactly tell you how well this thing performs, other than test flies and how I versed it. From what I've seen, it can do really well if you've got a right pilot in it. To me, it kind of just seems to turn like your average American P-51. Bit more gun this time. you got 450 cals with the same air target round, so it's a bit harder, but besides that, I wouldn't guess this one. I'd say get this one on sale if you can. Alright, so moving on to the YP38. So I'm kind of disappointed. This is the plane that replaced the XP38G, and I'm kind of sad I didn't get the XP38G because, in my opinion, that is a lot better than this plane. This plane is obviously the prototype or the precursor to the P38 we have in game now. I mean, in my opinion, it looks kind of cooler. It's got that more sleeker, more aerodynamic look to it, and kind of just, I like the all silver planes, fully aluminium. But yeah, you don't get a lot to play with. I think you get, yeah, you get 50 cals, a few 7mm, and you get this 37, but it only has 14 rounds, and it's like not really that accurate at all. It can hit hard given if it does, but like I said, you have to hit first. I wouldn't recommend getting this one just because of how it kind of just underperforms against its counterparts in the tech tree, so yeah. Alright, moving up to the XP55 Ascender. Now, this aircraft is very unorthodox. Oh shit, I might die. So it maneuvers somewhat weird from what I felt. I haven't flown this thing in ages. The guns are in pretty weird, I was about to say weird spots, they're really not. They're in pretty similar spots to the XP50, so if you have that, you'll know what this is like. It's a bit more on the expensive side, so just remember, it is weird, I'll give it that. Now the engine is in the rear, so going head on with things, your engine won't get damaged, but your pilot's now a lot more susceptible to being hit, obviously, unless bullets hit the machine guns themselves. It's fairly fast and it can climb somewhat okay. As I said, maneuverability is a bit strange, so it just might have to get used to that with the way that the elevators are in the front and the tail in the back. But yeah, I'd say if you want to go for it, it's a very unique aircraft and it looks cool. Now moving on to the A6M2. First off, it's a 0, so like, you know, very good maneuverability straight off the bat, even at low speeds. Obviously most planes have okay maneuverability at low speeds, but this one's just kind of insane. The amount of dogfights I've won with this thing just because I've dragged people down to such low energy and still be able to outturn them. It hits fairly hard. They're only 7mm, but they're fast firing, and the 20mm are in the wings, so you might have to get used to that, but if you can get them on target, you will absolutely cripple anything you verse. It out-energies most things it verses, and it definitely outturns a lot of the things it verses. The engine performance is good. I reckon this is really good for the price. I think I got this 50% off, so that's why I picked it up right away. And the only other things you'll be versing really are yourself, so if you're a really good pilot and you know how to use Japanese planes, and you know how to kill Japanese planes. Alright, so this is the P61, the Black Widow, yeah, that's the right name. Despite this one not being black. So, obviously it gets radar, which I find is really cool. I thought it was track-well scanned because it had the little square box, but I'm not too sure because I play America, and as far as I'm aware, no American plane has that little box, but oh well. It has really good search angles, as you just saw then. So it can do really cool things. No locking, so it's just purely a search radar. 420mm in the belly, similar to a MiG-21. It really is just an oversized P-38. And if you're wondering, the 4 guns in the turret are 50 cals. So yeah. Now, moving on to the BF-109 F4. If you love the normal BF-109 F4, then you'll probably still love this one. It's pretty much the exact same thing. Actually, it is the exact same thing. Although, it is missing the... I believe it does have the gun... Well, the German one at least has the gun pods, which this one doesn't get any secondary armaments, but the gun pods just make it way down, which means this one, unless, you know, the average German player doesn't take his gun pods, which I doubt, this one is more maneuverable. So, there's that. it's pretty much just a BF-49 with, yeah, with premium and better turn, and American, so you're versing Germans. So there's that. Now, moving on to the XP50. This is probably my favorite rank 3 premium. It's got really good energy retention and it gains speed really well as well. It climbs fairly well. It does fairly well even while having one engine, so that says a lot about its performance. You get 2 50 cal and 2 20 mils, so it's gonna hit hard, and it does hit hard. I've been on the receiving end of this, and I've also been on the whatever the other word for receiving is that I cannot think of this very time. That's kind of depressing. But I would definitely recommend picking this up. It turns extremely well. Almost too well in some circumstances. But yeah, definitely pick this one up. Alright, now moving on to the BTD-1. Now, I have zero experience using this plane. I've heard good things about it, and just flying around a little bit then, it seems pretty okay. So it gets torpedoes, that was terrible. Torpedoes, naval mines, and I think 1,000-pound bombs? Not too sure. But, I just think it's a chunky Corsair. So, if you want to, go for it. But yeah, it doesn't seem to turn very well. And, like, I feel like it doesn't, I don't know. I don't really have a good opinion on this because I have, like, almost zero experience with this, except for, like, the few times I've played, like, test drives with it. But, I don't know. This, I'll just leave up to you guys to decide. Or if you have your own opinion, please chuck it down in the comments because it'd be greatly appreciated. Alright, the P51 D20NA. I believe this is also in the territories of China and Israel, so if you don't want to pay for this one, don't have to. But I would definitely recommend getting this. I love this plane. It's a really good multi-use. For instance, 2 1,000-pound bombs. Kaboom. There. And then after that, you're now a perfectly good and competent dogfire, 650 cals, so nothing to mess around with. Well, I mean, depends on your view of the 50 cal, but my opinion is that you should be pilot sniped every time. Just saying that. No one in particular I'm saying that to. But yeah, bubble canopy, really maneuverable, good speed. 11,000 SL per kill. So yeah, have fun with that. Alrighty, moving on to the A26C. This is the PlayStation exclusive version, not the other one, but this is a A26 with a bomb sight, which the other ones do not get. So that's kind of cool. A lot of 50 cal, I'll give it that. A lot of ammo to go with 50 cal. It's probably another one of my highest earning planes because it does so well. Usually bomber base, and then because all the fires are climbing and they're at your altitude, just head on them. They don't expect the amount of 50 cal you have, so they'll probably just think you're another bomber, but no, you have enough DACA to defend yourself for ages. I will say this though, is when I say it's an American 288, I mean it. This thing is fast, this thing can put out fires like there's no tomorrow. Like I said, the guns kind of hit hard, everything's a 50 cal, so there's that. I actually have a view of when I made 40k in under 10 seconds. But yeah, definitely pick this one up if you can be, especially to my PlayStation brethren, because this will help you through the grind, especially if you play on controller. I feel bad for you guys if you still play on controller and have this BR. Now we move on to the A38 Grizzly. It's slightly bigger than a B34, I believe. I'm not too sure, don't quote me on that, but 75 in the front. It gets a choice of 4 bombs. I believe you can carry smaller bombs as well, which I'm probably right there. 75 is in the nose, like I just said, probably. It's a lot more accurate than the 37 on the P38, which is kind of sad, if you ask me. But yeah, it's absolutely hits hard as a 75. Just a little warning though. Do not get the ground targets and the armored targets belts mixed. As far as I know, the ground targets belts are only HG, not APHG, and the armored targets are only AP, so there's that. But besides that, this thing doesn't turn well, but what can you expect for something that's the size of, like, an early bomber? But I say if you want it, it does go on sale. I'll definitely buy it because honestly, I love cast planes and this seems to be a really good one. Moving on to the P47M now. This is like a premium that comes around once in a while alongside the Polish variant with it, which is flown by some Polish ace, I believe. Now it's a P47, so it's all about the cast. 2 1000s and a 500 plus 10 HVAR rockets. This is probably the vein of some of my friends' existences when I play with them. They're all tankers and I'm that one aviation guy, so they tend to hate it when I jump into anything cast related, and this is probably the worst one that they hate because it's a P47, but this one's more so special because it can dogfight. In my opinion it can, at least anyway. And it's got all these rockets that can do so much, 850 cals and air brakes, which is, I believe, only applies to this model. So yeah, definitely pick this. Alright, the Focke-Wulf A8. Now, this, I'm just gonna go off what I know from the Focke-Wulf A8 in the German tech tree. It's your average Focke-Wulf, really. This one doesn't get any secondary armaments, unfortunately. But to be fair, I don't think the actual one in the tech tree does, besides maybe gun pods and some rockets, but it still gets a heap of guns. It's still a Focke-Wulf, it still climbs well, still decent speed, average turn fighter, still really good roll rate, better than most planes. Once again, you're versing Germany, so have fun, good luck. It's red, so it stands out, but still, Focke-Wulf with premium bonus. But yeah, if you want to, I suggest getting this one, but if you don't want to, it's not like a necessity to have in your lineup. Introducing the American Spitfire. So, still 4 7mm, 2 Hispanos, and a bomb. Yes, that's right, people, a singular bomb. It's a 250, or I know that roughly equates to like 100 kilo, I think. I'm not entirely sure, I don't American very well, not gonna lie. But, it's honestly, it's better than nothing. It's a Spitfire, so it turns very well. I think it still has that problem with the floating carburetor, or carburetor. I don't even know how to say it, but it seems like it doesn't. If you want it, you can get it. It will give you that little bit more of a boost in the American tech tree. So yeah, I would say get this one if you want to. Alrighty, now we have some kind of jet plane. It's a turboprop, but we all know that that's just secretly a jet. So this is a American attacker based on what I believe is the, I can't remember what they're called, but they're the the AD series, you know, like the 82 and the 84. Yeah, it's basically that, but better. It gets a really, in my opinion, weird radar. It's like slowly goes across instead of being cool. But oh, I take that back. Never mind. It can just do the whole whoop-de-doo kind of thing. It can carry a lot of ordnance. I'm not going to list them all, but it's a lot. Air brake, obviously, since it is still a Skyhawk. Yes, A4E Skyhawk, but now it's a prop. You guys will know what I'm trying to say. But yeah, pretty good for your casts, and it's pretty good because it's premium, so base. I should quickly mention the radar in this thing isn't that good. It's more so like a simulator thing. But I don't even know where the radar is on this thing in simulator, so good luck with that. It does pick things up, but the second you kind of like move it towards there, you can kind of see that it just doesn't like anything. It does have a track radar, but once again, I don't think that works very well at all, if at all. It doesn't even seem to be that the tracking radar works, as I am clearly within range, so I don't know, this might be a bug with the radar, but I don't think Gojira would fix it anytime soon due to the plane just not being exactly the most popular. Alright, moving on to the F-89s. So first off the B, obviously. This is probably one of the earliest planes in game that has afterburning abilities. Oh, sorry, I shouldn't say afterburning abilities. That can afterburn, but it's also probably one of the slowest with afterburning. Like, I'm 100% sure the MiG-15 and 17 are way faster than this, but I'll give credit where credit's due. It's just a slightly better, what's it called? F-84. I wouldn't probably buy this. The reason I'd buy this is if I really had to buy the F89D, because, well, that thing's about to be reviewed, but yeah, it's kind of cool. Kind of sad this thing doesn't get played a lot because it's so expensive. I think it's like close to 8,000 GE, something like that, but yeah. The F89D. Remember when this used to be the top tier premium? Yeah, neither do I. That was so long ago. That was like my early days of playing, and I'd get bored sometimes, so this would probably be my first aircraft I'd jump in just to see what a taste of top tier was like. And to be quite honest, playing this now with top tier jets, this is kind of disappointing. There's a lot of things that are wrong with this plane. It's not supposed to get these missiles. It's supposed to, like, this has like proximity fused, like unguided rockets, which is just straight lies, but I guess I'll allow it, guys, this time. It's supposed to get the A4E Falcon, which I'm surprised aren't in game yet, because they are in most American planes, but Gaijin just like, no. I think it's more so just a skill issue, because they do actually have to directly hit your target, but just catch your enemy off guard. It's actually not that hard, especially with certain planes. But in saying that, I believe that they have nerfed these rockets into the ground, so it's not as overpowered anymore. This thing used to sit at a really high BR, but now it just doesn't. And I can kind of see why. The damn... Okay, so I can confirm the missiles do still work, however, you have to hit like really close to them. Let's see if I can just like kind of spray this guy. No? Okay, so I'm just shitting. Now, the A4E Skyhawk. This isn't a premium, but I'm including it because squadron vehicles and because this is my video and it's based, so I don't know, Coke or something. It gets the Walleye guided bombs, which I think are really cool bombs. They're a bit hard to get used to, but once you can get the hang of it, they become pretty standard usable bombs. I bought this because I wanted to. That's completely up to you if you want to use it or not, but I would definitely say get this one if you want to, because it is very much worth it. It's a really good ground attacker, like its texture counterport, but yeah, it's really good. And just really quickly, because I don't feel like I showed the Walleye how good it can be for tracking, I'm just going to come around, spacebar on this guy, and then point up a little bit, and then boop. And now we're going to watch this bomb guide its way to the thing. And look at that, it's probably going to be a direct hit. Yep, perfect. Oh, and just because I didn't show it off before, the Walleye can also track moving targets, so here's that as well. Oh. Hey, still got it. Bruh, come on. Alright, the one you've probably been waiting for this entire time, the A10A. Now this is the early version, which is the premium one. It can hold a lot of things, I just don't have it, so I can't show you any custom presets. However, I am taking out the Mavericks this time around because the GBU-8s are just bigger Walleye bombs, which I just showed in the previous plane. But we'll show you how the Mavericks work. They're pretty similar, where you lock a target, use a missile, and they're mostly accurate, except for that one, because I guess it just wants to spite me. Oh, and of course, the one thing you guys have all been waiting for here. Yeah, that's what we like to hear. So hopefully, I'm going to just target a boat here, because hopefully that's going to hit more. Just quickly show you if a Maverick actually hitting its target. There you go. And this is the AIM-9L, so it's an all-aspect 30G pulling missile. That's how this one performs. So yeah, it can do really well in ARB. My final opinion on this is definitely buy it if you have the money. And if you have a little bit of experience, This will just kind of give you a taste of what top tier is like. It's fairly slow, so be very prepared for that, but it gives you decent missiles for what BR is, and it does a lot of things well, so there's that. Oh, I actually hit it this time. This is the A38C, one of America's only VTOL boys alongside its brother the A38A. Premium 9.7. It's a pack vehicle for 90 Australian dollars, so probably $60 for you Americans. Now, this plane has an absurd amount of flares, rivaled, in my opinion, only to... Wait, why am I saying in my opinion? Rivaled only to the A10. AIM-9Gs, so really good missiles actually for its BR. I love the AIM-9Gs, I love the textury version of this, so this one performs just as good. The missiles have really good range, like the AIM-9Gs are really good, especially when you're at higher altitudes, and the Harrier doesn't, at first, it doesn't seem to want to be at high altitudes. I'm not too sure about this one because it doesn't seem to be there, but the AV8A has RWR, so it's pretty much like the AV8C, so yeah. If you want a review of that one, just to go off of this, because it's basically the same thing minus the 260 flares that you can get. Oh, the last premium in the American textury, and this will be one very biased opinion because the F5C is not only my top earning vehicle, but it's also my favorite fighter jet in game. Like, there is no doubt about it. I love this thing. The payload is okay, you know, 80 GMs and a fair amount of bombs. Premium, 11,000 a kill. This thing is just insane. It turns insanely well. Versing my commander, tank destroyer, he absolutely hates this thing to the point where the only thing that he can find to beat it is the MiG-21 BIS. He can just get me with his MiG-23 sometimes if he's playing right, but this thing turns insane. It can break the sound barrier because obviously it's an F5. The best missiles it gets is, which, yes, that sounds very sad, but in the capable, sorry, my PlayStation's having a moment. Give me a second. In the hands of a capable pilot, the AIM-9E is very dangerous and sometimes very unpredictable. Like, so people literally think of these of just like being like kind of uncaged AIM-9Bs, and while that may be slightly true, ask anyone I versed in this jet and they will tell you for sure that this is the AIM-9Es in this thing, when I'm using them, overperform. And I know this might not be the same for other people's experience, but remember, this is my biased opinion, so cope, I guess. But yeah, definitely buy this one if you have the money for it. I absolutely love this thing. It introduces you into top tier a lot better than the A10, and I don't know why I said the A10 would be good for that. But yeah, this is amazing. I love this plane. Alright, so that concludes America. I will probably next review. Damn, I have very good sentences. Next review will probably be on Israel, Sweden, France, and Italy, just because they have so few premiums. So I might even include China and Japan, depending on how I feel. But yeah, that'll probably be the next one, being the minor nations premiums. Alright, I hope you enjoyed the video. This might be rushly put together because, you know, it's me on a PlayStation. I hope to upgrade in a few weeks' time, so stick around for that, and I hope you guys enjoy the series, and goodbye.